Hey guys, let's talk about romance books for romance book haters. Now, I am a self-proclaimed romance book hater. I'm a hopeless romantic. I love a rom-com, but there is something about a rom-com book that just gets me so annoyed. They're either just like too light and fluffy, unrealistic, too heavy on the romance with not enough real-life problems, or just smut when I don't want it to be smut. And if any of that is your cup of tea, that's totally fine and I'm happy for you. Like, I wish it was my cup of tea, but like every single rom-com that I've read this year, I've given like max a 2 stars. So wanted to make a video for people maybe like me who just want a little bit more substance, a little bit more realness. Some of these are magical realism though, so like the realness, but like the vibes, the feelings, just a bit more emotional, a bit more of like a classic fiction with some romance elements in it. I must say, out of this whole stack, I think I have like 5 authors because they all give me like really similar vibes, and I love them all, and I feel like they're all just that kind of like literary fiction, women's fiction with romance in it. They are in the romance sections, they're recommended as romances, but like to me it feels more like a classic fiction novel that just kind of centers around a love story. So let's get on with it. First and foremost, I want to start with the most underrated author and book out of this entire stack, and that is Beth O'Leary. Beth O'Leary's books are incredible. In my head, they're like a combination of Jane Austen and Emily Henry. Like, I feel like the wit and the humor of Jane Austen is so there in Beth O'Leary's writing, but just with like a lot more modern speech. The beautiful prose and emotions from Emily Henry. I absolutely love Beth O'Leary. I read this book, I think like a year and a bit ago, The Wake Up Call, and I absolutely adored it. I think in like spring of 2024, like I read like 3 Beth O'Leary books just like back to back to back because I love them so much. I just think that the premise of all of them are also so interesting, and I would say that her books are the least romance out of all of these. Like, yes, in the end people get together and like they find love, but like I feel like there's always like a bit of like a more interesting or like not mysterious in like a mystery book, but just like something that you're trying to figure out. Like in this book, it is 2 people that are working together at a reception desk at this like bed and breakfast in like a little town in England. The bed and breakfast is going under, and so they want to like go through their lost and found and like see some items that they can sell that have just been there for ages, and they find a few wedding rings and just like important pieces of jewelry, and are like, hey, we actually need to like try to find the guests that these are from, because it just seems so like important. Like, it is such a personal memory and like beautiful memento. So they spend like the whole book trying to like look for these people. You just get like, I think it's like 3 or 4 just like beautiful stories about like different people's lives and like the connection that they have to these like rings and like all the special moments in their life. And like it is just so beautiful, and like at the end like they get together and it's just so cute and lovely, and the writing is just so beautiful. But I would highly recommend Beth O'Leary books. Like, I just think they are so interesting and just very unique. Also, The No-Show by Beth O'Leary, absolutely and utterly one of my favorite books of all time. The premise is this guy stands up, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 girls all on Valentine's Day, and the story just kind of takes off from there. But like, you figure out why and what has all happened, and just the things that are going on in his life and everything that's happened to him throughout the years. And the way that book broke me, I was literally sobbing so hard on like a double-decker bus in London, like trying to get to my flight or something. I was just like, that book literally broke me. And I just think that the like deeper elements in Beth O'Leary books are so well written, and just they really hit and they connect to everybody, even if you've never been through that before. But also like her writing is just so witty and interesting. I just think her writing is hilarious. It's funny. I just think it's funny, and I can't find like good lines right now, but like her writing is truly hilarious. Just like give it a chance. It is so good. Also, the audiobooks, I believe, I don't know if it's just for the No Show or if it's all of her books, but they're narrated by Julia Whelan, who is an incredible audiobook narrator, and she actually has a book of her own, which is also freaking incredible, and I would also really recommend. It's also like a romance kind of, but like it has like such an emphasis just on this woman's life and her life in the audiobook narrating business, and I thought it was incredible, and her voice is really great. So if you want to audiobook it, I would highly recommend for Beth O'Leary books. Then we have an all-time fave. I feel like you've definitely heard of her, you've probably read one of her books, but Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry so much. I just have to say, if you read People We Meet on Vacation and were like, I don't really like Emily Henry books, try any one of them again, please. I did not like People We Meet on Vacation. I feel like it's the most romance focused out of all of her books. Her writing still shines through it, but Emily Henry books, she just paints such beautiful pictures of like real human emotions and interactions and the way people are. I would say if you're like really not a romance book girly, I would go with Happy Place, because this book is about a friend group. They are in their happy place, this little lake in, I think it's Michigan, but they're on this lake, and it is their last time at this lake because the friend who owns it is going to be selling it. And our two main characters, Harriet and Wynne, used to be engaged and are now broken up, but their friends don't know about it, and so basically they are trying to give the illusion that they're still together, and then you get like past and present timelines of what they were like and what they're like now, and you have all the friends like intervening. And honestly, it's really just a book on like right person, not enough communication. I loved it. I loved the communication aspect of it. I loved them like getting deep into like what happened, why they still love each other, why they weren't together, all of that. I just think this book is incredible, and yeah. And then we have Funny Story, which just might be my favorite Emily Henry book. This one, I have to say, is a little bit more romancy, but like this is romance books for romance haters, so like, you know, there's gonna be romance in them. But basically this story follows Daphne and Miles, and they just got broken up with, and their exes are now together because they used to be like childhood best friends. They don't not like each other, but they're just like, you know, grieving difficult breakups that they just went through. But Daphne moves in with Miles because she's like, hey, I just like need a place to stay, would it be cool if I crashed with you? And so they're just kind of like cohabitating, trying to get on with their lives, and slowly they build this like beautiful friendship where like he's trying to show her the beautiful parts of this town in Michigan that they're at, because he's like, hey, I'm actually like becoming friends with you, and like I want you to stay, or at least like decide to stay on your own terms instead of leaving just because like this is your ex's like hometown. Like I want you to do what's best for you and like be where you want to be. And I feel like their friendship is just so lovely and amazing. Like they are there for each other for everything, and just enjoy being in each other's company, and love talking and love going on explorations together, and just like they are so perfect for each other, whether it is in a romantic sense or not. But the romance aspect of this book literally had me dead. Miles is my favorite book boyfriend of all time now. Like he is just incredible. I don't know if this is just me personally, but like everything that he did for Daphne, I figured out after reading this book that that is exactly what I need in a romantic partner. Like I'm so sorry, but if you don't give me that level of like reassurance and like loving and just like being there for like the little things, I don't want it. This like perfectly encapsulates the entirety of the book. All those moments throughout the days, weeks, months that don't get marked on calendars and hand-drawn stars or little stickers. Those are the moments that make life. Not grand gestures, but mundane details that over time accumulate until you have a home instead of a house. I'm like, hello? They're just so perfect. I could literally just talk about this book forever, but I'm gonna move on because we have other recommendations. Next, we have a new favorite author as of last summer, and that is Annabelle Monaghan. This book just came out last month, so I haven't read it yet, but I am so excited to, and I assume it's going to be as brilliant as the ones I've read. I also haven't read her first book, which is Nora Goes Off Script, so I will also put that back, but I've heard that one's great. Annabelle Monaghan. I feel like just like the rest of these authors, they are all unique in their writing styles, and I feel like you can very much tell them apart, but when I explain their writing, I feel like I just say the same thing over and over again. They just put words to these intricate like details that everybody has, but are just so like specific or just like difficult to explain, and just so beautiful. And Annabelle Monaghan like really pulls you into the story and makes you feel like you are with them. I know a lot of people didn't particularly like Same Time Next Summer, like compared to her other books. I am Sam, which is the female main character from this book, so take that as you will. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, but like I am her and I connected to this story so much. I feel like Annabelle Monaghan books specifically, like over the rest of these, although all of them I would say are like fiction, women's fiction with subplots of romance, I would say the most for Annabelle Monaghan, because I feel like, as you can see, the covers are literally just a woman and some stuff going on. Like, these books are truly about the woman and her going through her life, going through her journey. Like, there's always something difficult that's going on. I think 2 out of the 4 books, I'm not quite sure about this one, but out of these 3 books, 2 of them are about a single mother who's like trying to find love again, and just like I feel like these stories really dig deep into the main characters' like personal struggles and everything that they're going on, and like they evolve and grow on their own to be this like person that you're rooting for at the end of the book. But like there's just this like lovely man who's there like loving them and helping them out all the way through it. She's not growing because of him, she's growing and he's there helping her with each thing. It's not like the whole book is just about them being together. Like, it is truly, I feel like, about her, and then at the end it's like, and she found love because she found a way to like find herself again and love herself again. So I absolutely love these books. A lot of people really adored Summer Romance too. I liked it, I just don't think I connected to it as much, but like truly any Annabelle Monaghan book I would highly recommend. Let me see if I can find a quote, because I tabbed up Same Time Next Summer so much. Like, I loved this book. This line actually hits so hard. It is at the end, but like I feel like this one line won't like, I don't think it'll spoil. Like, it's a romance book, hello? And I like this. I like knowing that it wasn't some act of fate or the draw of a washed up tennis player that brought Wyatt back here to me. He chose me and got on a plane. I'm like, hello, you are actually perfect for each other. This is like, the whole book is just about her finding herself after losing herself so completely in a relationship, and I feel like that was also very much Summer Romance, just I connected to this one more. I'm relaxed too. I've loosened my grip on this thing I've been holding on to, and I'm so close to letting it go. I consider tossing him one more, maybe asking what he thinks about a chocolate wedding cake, but I know. I've known for a long time. Jack has no idea who I am, and I don't think he wants to know. Like, I just love her writing so much, and I cannot wait to read it. It's a love story and Nora Goes Off Script. Like, hello, but we need to move on. Second to last, we have Ashley Poston. Ashley Poston, I truly don't know how to pronounce her name. I feel like everybody says it differently. Like the rest of these authors, she's just completely and utterly incredible at like putting thoughts and feelings and emotions to paper. But I think separate to the rest of these authors, her books are magical realism, which I think just adds like a little bit more intrigue, a little bit more of something fun to the storyline, and especially the 7-Year Slip. I'm not going to talk about these 2 right now because this one just came out recently, so I haven't read it, and this one was great, but like I just need to talk about the 7-Year Slip because this book fundamentally changed me. It is such a beautiful story. So basically we have Clementine, and her aunt, who she was very close to, recently passed and left her old apartment in New York in the will. And so Clementine moves into this apartment. This apartment can go either 7 years into the past or 7 years into the future when you like walk through the door, and it chooses whenever it decides to do so. So you have absolutely no control of this. You can walk in and meet someone and then come out and then not see them for a day, a week, a month, a year, or even more. And basically the storyline follows Clementine going into this apartment and finding a man who is living in this apartment 7 years before, because her aunt let him stay there for the summer, like while she was traveling or something. Their relationship is so beautiful, but it's just, it adds such a layer of like messiness and emotion and intrigue with the fact that like she never knows if she's gonna see him again or when she's gonna see him again. Like, she can only see him when she's in the apartment. The second she leaves, like, everything changes. Like, yeah, maybe like 5 minutes later, like the amount of times she just like ran down to the store to like grab ice cream or something and came back up and like he wasn't there. Who's gonna believe you if you say that like you're in a magic apartment that's moving you 7 years into the past or the future? So like the next time she sees him, he's like, where were you? Like, you literally just up and left. It's such an interesting story. I think the premise is so beautiful, and they also end up meeting in her present timeline later, and everything that happened between then is so interesting because obviously she has only aged a couple of days. Her feelings, emotions, life hasn't changed a lot, but his has had 7 years to grow and change. So he is not the same person that he used to be, and it is like so heartbreaking to like see the change, but also like the beautiful message of this book is like things change, but like change isn't always bad. Like, he's not the same person that you remember, that you thought he was, but like he's still him at his core. I just thought this book was written so incredibly, and like the New York setting was incredible. Like, I've never read a book that had that much of a New York setting. Like, you really felt like you were in a New York apartment with like the little window AC, and then they walked around like Washington Square Park and like a bunch of, it really felt like I was transported into New York while I was reading this. It was so beautiful, and truly like the emotions of this book, and like I just can't. Anytime I hear the word lemon, I lose it. Anytime lemon pie, guys, like I can't talk about it. I just saw something that I really can't tell you guys, and I like totally forgot this happened, and I'm literally like shell shocked, but I'm gonna try to find something like from the beginning that I can actually say. I forgot there's also like this beautiful love story that her aunt found with someone through the time skips as well, and like we get flashes of that and like the connection to everything. It's so beautiful. My aunt swore that she had never been flustered in her entire life, but at that moment she hadn't a clue what to say. They talked for hours over al dente pasta and wilted salad. They talked until morning was pink across the horizon. They laughed over cheap wine, and when my aunt told the story, you could see the happiness filling her face with youth and love. There was never a doubt in my mind that she loved Vera. Like, it's so pretty, and I just think having like something like that, like a familial aspect or just like another story that's kind of like going throughout a story, just makes it feel so much more than just like a normal rom-com where it's just all centered about this one couple and their life and like how they like each other and all of that. Like, I just feel like it just adds this extra layer. They're like foils for each other, and like it's so beautiful, and just it just makes me happy like seeing other people with this like love in like snippets. Goodbye, I whispered, sort of hating that I wasn't gonna say it to his face, but this was for the best. I needed to leave. Nothing good could happen if I stayed. I opened the door, I stepped outside, waited, 1, 2, 3. I counted all the way to 7, a lucky number. Then I inserted the key and turned the lock. I'm just like, hello? Oh my god. I was broken, I was alone, and I wish he had found me 7 years ago instead. I'm putting this down. Like, I'm sorry, but like, her writing just like pulls so much emotion from me, and I've heard great things so far about Sounds Like Love. Novel Love Story got mixed reviews, but I honestly really enjoyed it and I thought it was very beautiful. This one is about a storybook town that this girl magically kind of falls into, and it happens to be the town from her favorite romance book series. There's one character there that she's never met before, and it like turns out to be like her love interest, and I just thought it was so cute. And like I said, just having the other characters from the romance book series that she loves like in there and seeing their stories and like all the troubles and like everything, it's just so cute and I love it. Honestly, I want to go into this one blindly to see what the magical realism aspect is, but I am sure it is something musical from the cover and I'm very excited. And our last book that I would very much recommend for people that aren't big into romance books is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. If you recognize her name or know her, have read her other books, she wrote the Magnolia Park series, which is like a messy romance series, and I'm not going to talk about that because this book is so independent to that and so beautifully written. I think Jessa's writing style out of everybody's is just so incredibly unique. Like, I have never found an author who knows how to pull such niche feelings. Like, they all can, but like the way, there's this one at the beginning of the book that I have not been able to find, but like it is such a perfect just like way of showcasing like her writing. I couldn't find that one right now, but like her writing is so incredible, and this book isn't centered around the romance at all. We have Georgia, who is this rich socialite in London, but she is originally from South Carolina, I believe, and her family is very traditional Southern right-wing family, and they sent her off to London when she was, I think, like 16 years old, but her father just passed, so she has to come back for the funeral. There's just so much family drama and shittiness and just awful things, but also like lovely things, like finding like love and hope and acceptance in like places in her family that she didn't ever expect to find. I just think it's so interesting because also there's such a very big mysterious element to this book. Like, we're trying to figure out like who her dad really was, like what was going on, like what's happening with the will. There's so much intrigue, and like you just like slowly over time like get these snippets of this beautiful love story between Georgia and Sam. And I really like the way it ends too, because it's not like this like proposal at the end or anything like that. It's just like, I feel like, you know, shut the door on like, okay, yeah, no, like we love each other and we know there will be issues to come and issues to face, but like that's the end of this story, because we know at the end of the day like we will come back to each other. And I feel like all of these books kind of have that, but like this one was truly incredible. And maybe that's just because out of all of these, I think I read this one the most recently, but like I think it's so interesting, and her writing is just so specific. "This'll kill me," he snaps accidentally, and his eyes go wide after he said it. He presses his hand into his mouth and studies his breathing. 4 breaths in and out of his nose. "Georgia, fuck," he swallows heavily. "Please don't do this. Please." Like, just, she goes into like such beautiful detail about like 4 breaths, like the blinks, everything. It just like, it really puts you in the story. He stands there for a couple of seconds, brows low and creased, and his eyes flicker over me like he's scanning me, looking for broken parts and things to fix. And then he slips his hand around the back of my head and pulls me into his chest. Like, hello? Anyway, I need to stop because clearly my romance side is coming out, because I am literally gushing out over all of these books. And as a supposed romance book hater, not romance book hater, but rom-com romance book hater, I should probably stop gushing over romance books. But like, these will tug all of your heartstrings if you're just not into the classic romances on the market. I would really recommend giving some of these a go, because I truly think they are incredible. And especially Beth O'Leary, like I feel like she just deserves so much more hype and so much more love, because her books are so incredible. Like, I love them so much. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys got a good recommendation out of this. Drop down below if you have any recs of romance books that you feel like are a little bit outside of the normal kind of rom-com vibe that you would recommend. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!